What's one habit or action that you started doing that completely changed your life?
Absolutely never letting anyone treat me badly. Ever. Not my kids, not my husband, not my family, not strangers, nobody. Ever.
Yeah, not caring what anyone thinks about me.
I have something. About 15 years ago, I learned this tool that goes like this. Each time I'm triggered very much, especially those big triggers, I pretend I'm an alien. I pretend I don't understand what is this trigger, what this is about, what the situation is about, and I just, just watch and observe. This has helped me tremendously to just lighten up my energy. It has given me so much space, so much time to just, observe, be curious, be there, observe more, understand more, if I want to understand, if not, if it's still okay. This has also helped me to just come out of that very dense and very stiff framework of needing to judge, needing to give a label to everything around us. It's a nice tool.
I stopped feeling bad for myself. I started to remove all negative and toxic people from my life, and now I'm 7 months sober. Yes!
When I started saying no, and then not apologizing for saying no, and also not explaining myself as to why I said no, aka setting boundaries and not apologizing for boundaries. It was really hard for me. It's still really hard for me sometimes, but it has changed my life because you can't be all the things to all the people. And when you say yes to a lot of things that you don't want to say yes to, you end up having to say no to things that you should have said yes to. Also, it's nobody else's business.
The thing that changed my life was self-empathy, right? We talk about empathy all the time, putting yourself in someone else's shoes and understanding what they're going through. I never did that with myself. I lost my dad to suicide at 6 years old. I blame myself for it. I was beaten by the next man in my life for doing things wrong. I always blame myself for it. I created this habit of blaming myself for everything that happened, right? I went to Afghanistan in 2012, and everything that went wrong, I blame myself for it. And it became such a toxic mindset that I didn't know how to step outside of who I was to realize what I really had to go through back then. And I had to really take accountability of how I thought about certain things. And it was a very important realization to start practicing self-empathy. And now I've found peace and balance, and I hope you can too.
The moment I stopped feeling sorry for myself, feeling sorry for my situation, is the day that changed my life. As a youngster, I'd always say, oh, why me? Why this happened to me? But no, why not me? Why can't I be like everyone else? Why can't I be just as successful as all my friends? I sat down with myself and just told myself that you have to work 10 times harder than the next person to get what you want. And if you truly want to be successful, you will not let anything stop you. We all have something going on in our life that we wish was different, but we just have to make the most of our situation and achieve our goals that way.
I stopped judging myself and I started to provide myself empathy. This allowed me to rejoice in the gifts and talents and things that other people had, and thereby rejoice in my own gifts and talents and see the beauty in myself and everyone else around me.
Definitely turning off all notifications on my phone, email, calls, text, all apps, all social media. It's been such a mind saver, if that makes sense. I've been able to just focus. I've been doing it for the past year, and I can say I have a lot more mental clarity and focus. So I highly recommend it.
For me, it's definitely waking up in the morning very, very early, because let me tell you, I wake up at 4, 5 in the morning. I take a shower, I make my breakfast, I cook, I do laundry. Look at me now. I'm making a healthy smoothie, okay? I wake up extremely early, I'm productive, and then I have the whole day to myself. I'm happier, I feel a little more a little more productive. And I just feel overall so much better. So that's something I highly recommend that you do. If you want to feel better about yourself, start going to bed early, wake up early in the morning, feel a little bit like P. Diddy. Got my glasses out the door, I'm gonna hit this city. No, but seriously, try waking up early for once. Do that for a whole week, and I swear, your life will literally change. I'm not even kidding, it's a great thing. I hate bananas, but it's healthy, so. Bon appetit, everyone.
So before I got into manifestation, my friend told me one day, words have power. Only say what you want to see in the world. At that time, I was very negative and wondering why I was attracting so many negative things into my life. So I decided to try it out. Anytime I caught myself saying or thinking about something I didn't want, I would instead rewrite that and say, instead of I don't want this, I do want this. And bit by bit, it was amazing. I stopped attracting things I didn't want and started attracting the things that I did want. It felt like magic. So just remember, your thoughts create your reality. Your words have power. Only say what you want to see show up in your world and notice what happens. Hit that plus sign if you want more mindset manifestation tips.
Not letting toxic people have power over me by setting boundaries.
I've been waiting to talk about this, but I feel like now is the perfect time, especially with all that has happened lately. So last year, I started writing down my goals. And I would write them, I would look at them, I would read them every day, and I would manifest them. And every single goal that I wrote down for us last year, my family and I have seen come to pass this year in exactly 1 year. So last year I wrote that we were going to pay off all our debt, and we did. We paid off over $140,000 of student loan debt, as well as consumer debt and everything like that. I wrote down that we're going to open up Roth IRAs and 401ks and fully fund them, and we've been able to do that so far. I also wrote as one of my goals that I wanted to get a new RV, and guess what? We got a brand new RV and a brand new truck. So write down your goals, read them every day, manifest them, look at them. If your goals don't scare you, then they're not big enough. So that's what worked for me. So check it out. Definitely try it out.
Writing letters to myself. I am shockingly bad at journaling. I can't do it every single day, and I promise myself I'm going to do it and then I just forget. But what I have done is write a letter to myself at significant intervals in my life. And I actually started doing this when I was 6 years old. So now I have a letter from when I was 6, 8, 13, 15, 17, 19 up to 24. And they're so useful for those days where I'm feeling really shit about myself and, I just don't know where I'm going. And it's just really nice to look back and see what my priorities were then and what they are now, and to have that sort of perspective. And then 30-year-old me is going to write a letter to 24-year-old me, and they're just going to be like, bitch, please. And then eventually some of those letters turned into video letters to myself, and I have them on a hard drive. And it's just also a really nice way of remembering my life. So no matter what age you are, just start writing a short letter to yourself. It'll help.
Writing things down. It could be putting things in your calendar, notes of affirmation, love notes, to-do list, journaling, whatever it is. Get it out of your mind and into reality. Give your mind a voice, and that voice turns into actions, and those actions turn into success.
I stopped hanging out with people who I thought I should be hanging out with. I stopped doing what any normal 20-year-old would be doing. I hated the way that I felt afterwards hanging out with these specific people. My energy was so low. I had nothing but negative thoughts. I honestly was even contemplating on what my life was about. I started to reach out to mentors. I wanted to reach out with people that had a higher emotional intelligence than I did. And when I started hanging out with these people, I was filled with so much more love, so much more positivity, and a lot more wealth.
So something that has changed my life is the ability to look at my body with neutrality. So as someone that has suffered my whole entire life with looking at my body and wanting to pick every little thing apart, someone that has wanted to live by the scale, chronic dieter, always trying to change the way that my body looks. A few years ago, I really started to actively practice trying to look at my body with neutrality. So instead of looking in the mirror and picking every single little thing apart, just being able to look and say, okay, this is what my body looks like today, and that's okay. And it's taken a lot of practice, and it's not something that's always perfect, but it is something that I strive for, and that has, for me, really made a big difference in my mental health and how I live my day-to-day.
So a year and a half ago, I started writing down in the morning 3 goals that I wanted to accomplish each day. That transitioned into doing it every day. Now I've got so many filled up with what I want to do in a day. Start writing down what you want to accomplish each day. Make sure it's action-based. So don't make your goal, I want to lose weight today. Make your goal, go to the gym today, go on a 5-minute walk today, eat 1 serving of fruit today, eat 1 serving of vegetables today, stuff like that. Let me know if you do this, and if you don't do this, let me know. Are you going to try it?
I started using a pendulum, and for literally everything. But the thing that it's impacted the most, is the way that I interact with people, especially here on TikTok. But this applies to all aspects of life. Whenever I have an encounter with somebody that is rather negative, I guess you can say, I ask my pendulum, is this happening for my highest good? It's always yes. So that helps to calm me down a lot. It helps me to shift my perspective and to see how every situation that happens to me, no matter if it's what we would perceive as bad, it's always good. So nothing bad ever happens to us. So yeah, that's what really helped me was my pendulum. It helped me to shift my perspective among other things. 10 out of 10 recommend.